This little building on Bob Wallace Avenue has had a big impact on the history of Huntsville as the first location of Mayfair Church of Christ. Now, it's being torn down to make way for the future. We invited some early members to sit down and talk about their experiences and shared memories.
So, did they build this building? Did Central build this building?
$25,000.
They wanted a church on this side of town.
It's documented.
That's great.
They built this church. No, they spent, what, was it? $25,000. They just wanted volunteers to come here to start a new congregation. That's what they wanted, and that's what happened. And my parents volunteered to move. And there was a group that volunteered to move down here.
They just wanted a church on this side of town.
This end of town, because
This side of town back then was way away.
Airport Road was what they call it now, Drake Avenue. That was the south end of Huntsville. Everything south of there was cotton fields.
Fleming's
So most all of us
Fleming's owned
lived
almost all of
in
that.
this area, which was the Mayfair area.
Yeah.
That's where we got our name.
Whitesburg Drive used to have overhang of trees, and it was a narrow road back when we were little.
Oh, yeah.
One hospital, one doctor.
November 29th, 1949 was the first service in this building.
And so, but you were all still here when you moved in 1960?
Yes.
So you went through that whole...
Yes.
So you
Where
went
we are now.
can we do a new church?
Right, and then we've moved again from Whitesburg Drive over to Carl T. Jones.
So from 49, 59, 69, 79, 89, 99, 2009, so
7 years.
67 years.
Oh, I wish she hadn't said
I
that.
know,
but
that
you
sounds, let's do that math again. She must be working.
Get your calculator.
That's right.
When it would rain in the basement.
That's what Bill Harris remembered. He talked the same about. He said we'd get down there and we had sit in their chairs with our feet propped up because the water was just flowing underneath.
It was a leak?
Yeah,
Well,
it was a leak.
I guess the water table was high, maybe these windows that the parking lot would just allow the water to come. Of course, it was just a gravel parking lot, it wasn't paved. But we would certainly have water down there when we had good rains.
The building has changed quite a bit. It went from wooden chairs.
Well, I don't remember.
And you don't remember those wooden chairs? And they were all individual like this.
But they
Well, they weren't connected at all.
They were,
Okay, I do.
They were
Now that
connected.
a
you
little like
said
this,
it.
except wooden.
yeah.
I do remember that. They were connected, but
Yeah.
they were connected and they did fold up.
Yes,
I do remember that now.
But then they were replaced by pews later on. We had the long pews, I know we did.
Not that I ever recall.
Well, that's because I'm older than you.
Well, see, I don't remember.
Not smarter, but older.
Perhaps you started out with pews and replaced them with the wooden theater seats.
No, I remember doing some things which I won't repeat, which had to reach over the pew behind me to do up front.
I remember pews myself. With him, I remember pews, but now when they first moved in, they probably had chairs like you're talking about.
I think so.
I couldn't tell you anything about pews, but I do remember those individual seats.
Carolyn, do you not remember? Because
I remember the wooden.
wooden ones.
Brass too.
And that was one of the things with those seats that we had in here. There wasn't carpet on the floor unless we maybe had a runner. I don't think we had any carpet. It was a live building, and the singing was absolutely gorgeous.
And the windows were open.
When I see, I don't
You
remember.
told me the windows didn't.
I didn't remember them opening.
You don't remember?
I
Oh,
don't.
I do.
They had to crank.
They had to crank.
Because after you said that, they did
And
crank.
they were a colored window, but not a stained glass window. There was no picture.
Well, see, David and I don't remember that.
I think it was a rippled
Yes.
window, white,
But
but
it
it
was-
was rippled.
Maybe it had some white and maybe purple or green in
See, I don't remember that.
with
remember.
it because you couldn't really see out
I remember.
and daydream.
Okay.
So
Yeah,
what do
they
you
did
remember?
crank.
Cranking it.
I did-
Cranking, yeah, I
do
definitely remember the
cranking after we
cranks.
talked.
One thing about the building that I remember, just as I'm sitting here, I walked in and saw the front porch is the same configuration. I think we had wooden handrails at that time. But between church and Sunday school, there was about 15 minutes, and just about all the men got up and went out there and smoked their cigarettes. That was the days before the Surgeon General said you can't do that. So everybody went out. If you were a kid going out there, you would nearly suffocate trying to get out to the parking lot and run around.
I think you told a story about swinging from the side, jumping off the
Yes,
steps.
yes, because
all
the yard was bigger at the time. This front area out in front of the porch wasn't encroached upon by Bob Wallace. Bob Wallace used to just be a
See,
two-lane.
Oh, okay.
So we had more grassy area out there, and we had a sign, just had a galvanized pole, and we would just swing around that pole and jump off the steps. You know, can I jump off 2, 4, 6? You know, how many can I jump off? And of course, we were all in our dresses, and when we tumbled, we just tumbled. It was, but it was lots of fun. It might be dangerous for us these days.
I think so.
Swing on the side.
I don't think the bones would stand
No.
up to it.
Because after church, everybody hung around and chat. The adults
Absolutely.
hung around and
We
chatted
just
and
all
played,
loved each
right?
other.
We weren't
absolutely,
in a hurry.
yeah.
We weren't in a hurry
No,
then.
you stayed till it got dark.
That's right.
Oh, really?
A lot of times you sure did, because you talked and
Visited.
the parents talked and we played.
Right. It's just a good time. A good time.
Yeah, it was.
The lifespan of a building touches many people. The next occupants were Freemasons and members of the Scottish Rite. There were literally thousands of people who frequented these walls, and we found a few whose memories of this space still burns brightly.
On the lighthouse.
Around 1963 or 64, I believe.
Okay.
Because Apollo Masonic Lodge used to meet in this building. And they received their charter in December of 1967. Brother Drennan here is the original, or the initial worshipful master, the presiding officer of the
Charter
lodge.
master.
Charter master of the lodge. So
Gotta get it right.
they've been there a while. As far as the number of people that's going through this august body, I would say upwards 3,000, maybe 4,000.
Wow.
You know, we'd have to go back and add up all the classes that we've had over the years, and a lot of them have gone by now. So yeah, it's part of it. But yeah, we've a lot of friendships and a lot of bonds have been established.
Yeah, I can say our membership at one time was above 2,000. How Scottish Rite got started here somewhat, but I don't remember the details of how they acquired this building. The seeds of creation, I guess, started with a fellow named Elmer Gunner, who worked in the manufacturing and engineering laboratory at NASA. And he got interested in getting the Scottish Rite organization here, and he also was instrumental in helping get the shrine here, because the shrine and the Scottish Rite all came into this town about the same time. The same people generally who were sponsoring it did both. Elmer was happy to be in both of them, and he worked hard in both of them. Another fellow that worked in the manufacturing engineering lab with him, Doyle Ely, was another ringleader. Val Stapler also worked there. And Clinton Knipp also worked in the same building for NASA that Elmer worked in. So among those and some other faces that I don't remember, they got their heads together and tried to figure out how to get it done, and they talked to a fellow named Fred Smith, who was at that time the Sovereign Grand Inspector General for Scottish Rite.
How did y'all use the barbecue pits, the portable barbecues?
That was a fundraising effort for the most part. Fundraising. We need money to pay our bills, and we have chicken roast and Boston butt,
Right.
Paris and some of the other things to raise money, mostly. But I think that's what we did.
Yeah, it's basically for our dyslexia program.
Okay.
And then, of course, Apollo Lodge, the Masonic Lodge, had a Boston butt cookout. And that money went to procure Constitution booklets, which were passed out to all 5th grade students in Huntsville as well as Madison County. And of course, those cookers are being moved, and
Right.
one will get a chance to use them again. And of course, the Rainbow Girls, the young ladies organization sponsored by the Masons, cooked Easter hams and Christmas hams. And they would use that money, the proceeds would go to their various functions, and they have a big convention in Birmingham. I think it's coming up soon, I believe.
I think the DMLA uses it too, don't they?
DMLA uses it also, and they have one in Birmingham. And they use a lot of that money for those, for that function down there. And but it's, when we'll get to use them again, who knows?
Well, I've not only Scottish Rite in this building, but the Apollo Lodge. I've thoroughly enjoyed all my participation and visiting with my brothers here. My membership in Masonry is at other places, but I always enjoy coming back and being a lot of good members in this room.
It's been a great trip.
Never been sorry coming into this building.
That's right. It's, when you think back, in my position especially, I'll be a Mason for 50 years, a little over 2 years, and you know, where's the time gone? When you think of all the degrees that's been conferred and all the Masonic work and all the brothers that you've met over the years and made friends with and had fellowship with, and that's almost 50 years, and that's longer than some people live here. And that makes me stop and think, you know how much, or say how precious life is, really. And you need to enjoy every moment of it.
Russ Russell Commercial Real Estate played a major role in the sale of this property. Because the building will be torn down, Russ commissioned this video as a historical record of the building's existence and to pay homage to the lives that were touched here.